start out the show, we have Geary Oreglia with the Ministry of Shem. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Okay, so you were late. And here is your info, which we will show it again in just a few minutes.
Yeah.
But you have a story about why you were late coming to the show tonight.
Yeah, you know, and I can remember just always going to the doctors, and when I choose a doctor, I just make sure he's not a surgeon. Okay, because you go to his office and he was in surgery, they'll tell you the doctor's late because he's in surgery.
Okay, so you were in surgery?
Kinda.
Okay.
However, I was about ready to come. I had my stuff. I was saying goodbye to my wife, and a few minutes before that, and the phone rings, and there's this young man, and he called. And he says, "This is Pastor Gary." Blah blah blah. Yes. He goes, "Well, you know my mother. You taught a class to her about 8 years ago, but she said I can call you." And I thought, okay, so I knew it was through NAMI, and so I talked to him, and he just was at his end. He had been suffering from depression for about 8 years now, and he said he was 30, so that time it was really tough. And so he just didn't know what to do, and he just knew he couldn't do anything, and that was it. And I asked him why he called me. He says, because my mom just asked me to. He says, but there's just no need going on, so I'm doing this last request for her.
Last request.
Right. And so that was the red flag. So we talked and I tried to get him to meet and didn't see a reason to. He just had it. His depression was so deep, there was just no reason to live. So I told him I had a meeting, but if I can meet him at 7 o'clock, we could meet, we can talk. He said, "You're going to be able to help me?" And I told him we can work on it, because I didn't know that I could help him. I surely didn't want to falsely lead him.
We'll let you out of here quickly.
Yeah. And that was great that he was willing to meet me. Mm-hmm. So we're going to meet here at 7 o'clock. And so that's when I was ready to go out the door, I guess. So, and then the phone rings again, and here's this woman says, "Hi, I'm so-and-so. You taught me about 8 years ago." I thought, oh. She says, "Do you remember?" I go, "Did you have a son about," She says, "Yes." So she says he has not been out of his room in 8 days. So I'm not sure that he's eating. He won't see anybody. He won't go to the doctors. And I told him to call you, but now he's left the house about 2 days ago, and I'm just so afraid. He called me and said goodbye. And so I said, so she was upset. So I said, "If I could get a hold of him and meet with him, would you feel better?" She says, "Yes." So I told her, "I have an appointment at 7 o'clock with your son."
Jeez.
And so the next 5 minutes was just
You're
crying.
Making me feel bad, Gary. You need to get out of here.
That was part of it. And she just cried hysterical. And I'm only leading that into because, this show goes from what? Sacramento to Fresno?
Yeah, Merced. But it streams live over the internet, so it reaches thousands of people.
25%, I said this last time, of our population has a mental illness, and most of that's with depression. So how many people are seeing this, that are hearing this, that went through what that family went through tonight? And my hope now is that he'll be there at 7, and the mother's hope is that he'll also be there at 7. And so, depression's out there. Mental illness is out there. And again, if you...
Yeah, I will hold this up, and we'll see if we can get this.
Anybody, please call. We can get through anything. You can call, you can text, there's an email here, and let's just don't get so far back, whether you're a caregiver or whether you're suffering with mental, we could get through it. Mm-hmm. And so I thought I would do tonight was just some really facts out there so we understand the importance of it. And number one in 4 adults, that's approximately 57 million Americans experience mental illness and disorder. About 2.4 Americans live with schizophrenia. 5.7 million Americans, that's 2%, is dealing with bipolar. And bipolar that's the manic depression. They're very, very high, or they're very, very low. And so one day they can conquer the world, and they're getting new jobs, and they're going to buy a house and a car, and tomorrow they don't even show up for their appointments because they're so down depressed. Anxiety disorder, including panic disorder, obsessive compulsive disorders, stress disorders, and general anxiety disorder, an estimated 40 million individuals. And there's several types of mental illnesses. I don't think people realize that, but it's out there. Not more than 90% of those who die by suicide have a diagnosis with mental disorder.
This is very important to bring this to light, that there is help out there.
And there is.
Because with the country kind of fraying, just going off here and jumping off that cliff there, it's important that we know that there's help and that we can reach out to somebody like yourself.
Right, yeah, and there is help. And again, NAMI NAMI, National Alliance on Mental Illness, and I'll give you a phone number later. It's a nonprofit organization. It's an organization of parents and loved ones and people suffering from mental illness who have gathered around the world and to help each other so that it's just not alone. And just the severity of depression, we go through depression and strokes. 600,000 American men and women who experienced the first recruitment of some stroke, and estimate 10 to 20% experience major depression from a stroke. You know, heart disease from depression. Diabetes. Diabetes is a really big factor in people with depression, and it's because of their lifestyle. I mean, they'll go days without eating, and then when that's not good. And then they may eat bad after that. So diabetes, a cancer. So everything, there's so much on depression. If your body's under stress, it's going to affect almost every functional part of your body. And these things are out there, they're serious, we just cannot take them so lightly and or so desperately that we just don't seek help. And there is so much help. There's county help, your insurance company helps. I think the number one is just understanding it, and I wanted to express some of those facts tonight just because of that. It's there. And don't think that someone in your family is just being lazy and not caring and they're just going through it. I think I expressed this last time too. It's between 14 and 26 before people even really get the severity of mental illness because your brain is fully growing there. Now it's beginning to not function in the way that it can. Just a couple comments from some of the people within our county. The Stanislaus County Public Health Officer, and you said someone's going to be speaking on National Night Out?
They are.
Okay.
In about 20 minutes or so.
As I said, so, and it's Dr. John Walker, and he says, a person's number of close friends, frequency of interaction with families and friends, trust in neighbors, and level of participation in volunteering activities or community events all play a role in supporting well-being, and it can also influence health. And that includes your mental health. And so it's one of those things, just knowing your neighbors. And I was thinking of this yesterday, I was just thinking what to say. If you went to a neighborhood gathering, and there's 30 people there, just 30, well, what's 25% of 30? It's 5.5? 6?
Yeah.
That means 6 other people are dealing with exactly what you're dealing with it.
Yeah, and that's part of the shroud of shame, maybe,
Yes.
is that we don't realize that the person sitting next to us could be suffering from the same depression or health issues, mental or physical, that we are.
Yeah.
But we don't talk about it.
No. And I mean, and it's just that simple. Just saying, how you doing tonight? You know, not good. I suffer with depression. I will guarantee you they will say, so do I, so does my son, my brother, someone in their family. Do you know anybody closely with you that does suffer from depression?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah,
More than 25%.
Yeah, you know, I mean, so
Yeah.
it's there. And I think it's okay to say that. And once you say that, again, you can go to the neighborhood and understand there's 5 other people in your neighborhood that are just like you in dealing with it and suffering with it. If you could just talk to them, you could help them as well.
And the care has changed over the years, too. Back in the day, if you mentioned that you were depressed or had
Right.
some mental health condition, you thought of lobotomy or
Sure.
electric shock therapy
Yeah.
or something, and it's not like that anymore.
They do still, there are people who still do take a form of shock therapy because they're so depressed. It takes that much to get that brain snapped again. You know.
Give us the
So,
number for NAMI, because I know
Yes.
you got to get out of here. So
I'm
you
NAMI.
have an emergency tonight.
I have numbers everywhere for this tonight. And yeah, you can call NAMI. Again, NAMI's on South 9th Street. The phone number at NAMI is area code 209-558-4554. NAMI can help you. They have groups. Call and ask them support groups for those with mental illness or those that are caretakers for mental illness. And again, you know, my numbers, I'll put this up again. You know, you can text me or my cell, and it's 209-247-7242. I promise I will get back to you. Maybe not with that fast, because I
You
can
have
be
other
here or I
things,
have other
right.
things to do. But I will get back to you. Email me, Ministry of Shem at gmail.com. I wasn't sure what that is. And you know, so we do have that. We have it's a ministry for behavioral health. So that's spiritual health, emotional, and mental. And in the near future, maybe by the next time we come here, we will have a class on spiritual health.
Sounds
and
good.
I have an elder of a church that wants to do this
Good.
seminar. So if you guys can call and even let us know if you're interested, would really be great, because then we would know how to prepare for that type of stuff.
Sounds good. Thank you very
Okay.
much, Gary.
All right,
And
thank
I
you.
appreciate you traveling down that parking lot we call 99.
I know.
So
Well, and we'll just
drive safe on the way home.
pray for us that we can help this young man and his mother and
Many
and
people
get
need your
through the
help,
day.
so
All
keep
right?
yourself safe.
All right.
Thanks, Gary.
Thank you.